Today's guest is what I call the real deal. Emmy-nominated, scene-stealing, and a multi-hyphenate to the core. Natasha Rothwell has written for SNL, lit up the screen in Insecure, made us feel things in The White Lotus, and created her own lane with How to Die Alone. Now she's adapting Reesa Teesa's viral series and showing us what it means to lead with heart, humor, and hella vision. From military brat to creative powerhouse, Natasha is giving main character energy on screen and off screen. Baby, this is Natasha Rothwell. This episode is presented in partnership with Airbnb, where the best end of summer memories are made with your closest friends. Now, let's get on with the show. Natasha, I am so happy to have you on the show, girl. I feel like I always see you out.
Yes.
We're always at an event, saying hi and bye real quick. We never had a time to really kiki and get it together.
No, I'm so excited. Like, to be across from you and not have to worry about, 100 other people.
Yes. How are you? And did you find that bag at the front of Daddy's fair party?
Yes. So losing things is, I have ADHD real bad.
Same.
So my purse, I had set down somewhere and then spent the rest of the event hunting for it.
That is too funny.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you found it.
I found it.
So we do the pre-show pull-up questionnaire, and I'm excited to get into your mind and see what vibes we have today. So it says, today I'm giving whimsy, which I feel you always give. It just lights up every room, with the side of cleavage.
Hello.
Because when you've got it, you've got to flaunt it.
There's no hiding it.
Girl, when I tell you my son took all my cleavage, the very little that I had, he just sucked it all out.
He sucked it dry.
Girl, it's
But
so
cleavage
crazy.
is also a mentality.
I love that.
So you got cleavage, girl.
And girl, growing up, I did a couple projects with Queen Latifah, and let me just tell you, she leads with cleavage.
Yeah.
Queen is going to have them shoulders back.
Shoulders back, girls up.
I'm Dana.
Listen.
Okay, so whimsy, a side of cleavage.
Yeah.
Today's mood in one word, I'm always living here. Curious.
Yes.
Curious.
I'm curious.
About life.
I ask questions all the time.
Same.
I used to get in trouble when I was in school for saying why. And I would get, I had the grades to support it, so they get annoyed because they're like, well, she's getting A's, but, stop asking why.
She's a genius. She's going to find out we're stupid.
Yes, exactly. But I was always asking why.
I love that. I was the same. I would ask my mom why about the sun. Why is the sun yellow?
Yeah.
Because it is. Well, why would yellow be the one that, why would that be the color effect?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, everything. Okay, what did you listen to on the ride here? Motown and The Daily.
Yes, so on the right here, I had to take some calls, so I went with what was on just before I left.
Okay.
So I listen to The Daily all the time, the podcast, the New York Times. It just sets my day.
You like news?
I like news. I like to know how we are. You know what I'm saying?
Because we need to know.
We need to know. And then I put on Motown mornings. I like to just a nice, fun sort of morning.
Yes, I love that. Shout out to Motown and The Daily.
Mm-hmm.
The last screenshot on your phone, no deleting. Show me now.
Hey, boy. We came to play. Let's pull it up.
Let's put it up.
No deleting. Screenshot. Oh, no.
I'm so excited. Oh, yes. Love Island.
Love Island.
Girl, we got to get a sideline of this real quick. So,
Please.
Janae, obviously, listeners, if you know Love Island, great. If you don't, let me put you on game. So, Janae, who was on the season before the most recent, she was with a guy named Kenny. Her and Kenny, we were happy for them. We were rooting for them. We were like, yes, our girl got a man.
Yes.
Well, come to find out, things went haywire. The screenshot that I'm reading from Natasha's phone is, hi, my loves. Thank you for all your love and support. It means the world to me. As you know, Kenny and I are no longer together. Please know that I have seen all the breakup theories and none have matched up to how terrible, disgusting, and disappointing it truly is. Discovering that someone you loved isn't who you thought they were, and the relationship you thought you were building hasn't been genuine since day one has been truly devastating. Thank you for respecting my privacy, and please know, as a child of God, I will always be okay.
Hey!
She ate that, first of all. Second of all, we come to find out that Kenny had been talking to his homeboys saying he don't like black women.
He don't like black women.
He thought he would get more money from this.
Yes, doing it for the clout.
Exactly. And
disgusting.
It's in, girl, when you seen that,
the bag. Look at her.
Girl.
Not just physically, but her, she's smart, she's funny.
I don't know about you,
loving.
but I feel like we're in this era where people are so obsessed with clout, fame,
Yes.
and money. It doesn't actually even matter how gorgeous, smart, cool,
No.
handsome, whatever side of it that you're on. It doesn't matter that you're actually awesome.
That's right.
Sometimes people are just so hell-bent on this superficiality of personal
It's
success.
shallow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, her beauty is the least interesting thing about her. She has so much more to give. And the fact that he was so negative about Black women who, you know, and I'm biased, I think that we are exquisite.
I mean, what's the damn problem?
What's the damn problem?
I mean, all people have issues.
All of them.
But we, like, have the least issues.
The least. What I think is that he was with a woman that held him accountable.
And that, now, isn't that always, I was just talking to my girlfriend about that, where I was like, girl, it gets to the point where it's like, just me being me doesn't make you secure.
Yeah.
I can't not be me, so I guess I'm just gonna be chilling over here on the side.
Listen.
Because this whole thing of always having to ride the fence of not messing up how you feel about you and not hindering your confidence or your...
Figure it out. I call my house my peace palace.
Girl.
I have created a life of stasis.
Oh
I'm happy. I am at peace. I can do for myself.
That's right.
So for me, a man, in order to be a part of this, he has to be additive. Girl. And that thing is not a financial additive. It's not that. Be additive to my life.
To my life.
To my soul. Pour into me. So for me, I'm just like, Janae got the biggest blessing.
Absolutely.
Got the
Because
biggest
who wants to
blessing.
be caught up in something like that for life? Okay, what is your zodiac sign? And I love that you know your big three. Because a lot of people come up on here, they don't know the real deal.
Well, they don't really know themselves.
They don't
That's
know
what
themselves.
if they don't know themselves, they need to know the big three.
So you have a Libra sun, an Aquarius moon.
That's right.
And a Sagittarius rising.
That's right.
Girl, this is an incredible chart that we have going on here.
Yeah, I have my rising I've gotten to know over time because I was always, just Libra.
Yeah.
But my rising has really allowed me to step into sort of like a bit of a transient lifestyle. I'm on the go all the time.
Girl, you're so funny. I mean, I feel that Sag energy from you all the time.
Yeah.
In different characters. Like, obviously, I feel like I definitely got that in Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly was, yes.
She
was in her Sag bag.
Yes. But the Aquarius, that's that brilliance. Aquarius is so brilliant. I don't know that a lot of people always get into that sign.
Yeah.
But they are really...
They're sneaky mad geniuses.
Yes.
They're like not afraid to be weird or quirky. They like to try new things.
So love me an Aquarius.
Yes.
Okay, what is the most unexpected thing on your talent writer? Oh, this is so cute. Jerky and Jolly Ranchers. She said salty and sweet.
I like a little salty and sweet.
Now, what's your favorite Jolly Rancher color?
Cherry.
Girl, mine's too.
I just like a little cherry. I will pop, like sometimes being on set, it's just like, I need something a little sweet.
Yes.
So I just put a little cherry in there.
My niece, she had a pocket full of Jolly Ranchers. She said, hey, auntie, you want some Jolly Ranchers? And I was like, yeah, you mind what color? She said, whatever you want. I said, cherry. She said, I don't like those. You can take it. I was just thrilled. Why she had them in her pocket, I don't know, but it was what I needed.
It's what you needed.
You know what I mean?
I don't need to know where you got them. I just know that you have them and I can get them.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay, and then may I have your autograph? You gave me your autograph. I'm selling this. Now, I'm so happy to have you on the show. I was interested. You grew up as a military kid.
Yeah.
So tell me where some of the places you lived growing up and what that was like.
Yeah, my dad was in the Air Force for over 35 years. And I was born in Wichita, Kansas. I lived in New Jersey. I lived in Incirlik, Turkey when I was Turkey when I was like from 2 to 4. So like 2 years there. Illinois, Florida.
Illinois, shout out.
I was right outside of St. Louis. And then my dad retired as the commander of Fort Dix in New Jersey. But before that, he was at the Pentagon and he was also at Andrews Air Force Base.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we moved around a ton. And so that's all I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And it also, I think, uniquely equipped me for being an artist because when you're on set, it's like almost a military base. You're there.
Yes, it is.
You do
actually.
a tour of duty. You all have the lived experience. Then it goes away. You move on to the next. So I think it uniquely equipped me for this lifestyle for sure.
Well, thank you, your father, for his service.
Yeah.
Now, when you were in school, in your college, you read Langston Hughes' Dream Deferred.
I did.
And it made you switch your major.
It
what was
did.
your original major? And then tell me about the process of finding that piece.
Yes, journalism. So I've always written. I loved writing, but I knew I wanted to be an actor. And I had told myself that my parents were just, they would hate it and they would just like, drama, right? I was just like inserting drama where there was no drama. I was just like, they're going to hate it, so I'm going to major in journalism. And then I saw this play, House of Blue Leaves, at Ithaca College. I was there my freshman year. And in the program, they had Langston Hughes, A Dream Deferred. I just remember sitting in the seat, reading it, and sobbing. And I was just like, I'm deferring a dream right now. And so I went home for Christmas break, sat my parents down, and I was like, I'm going to come out as a thespian. And I was like, I got to tell you, I want to be acting. And their first thing was just like, we were confused when you said journalism, but we thought that's what you want. So they ruined my dramatic moment. I was like, well, I'm going to do acting. They're like, of course. And so
oh my God,
they were so supportive. And I ended up transferring to University of Maryland. And I got a full ride for acting. Yeah.
Now, isn't it so funny how our parents just know us?
They
Because, I mean,
know
obviously
us.
they've watched us before we've arrived at who we are.
Yeah.
Was there ever a moment in time where they were like, this is when we knew or this is how we knew?
I mean, I was performative my dad was also an early adapter with technology, so he had the video camera that was like on your shoulder in the 80s.
Come on, Daddy.
So there's VHS of me just like putting on like my mom's shoes and like performing. I was always performing. And I think for them to nurture that and to see that and to allow me to like step into that, I'm just so grateful they didn't hinder it.
Yeah.
And, I grew up, like, my family's a family of faith, and so they're just like, you're called to this, like, lean into your purpose. And as scary as that was, I knew I had them, rooting me on. So that's really what changed it for me. And I was like, from that point, I didn't look back.
I love that. Nothing better than family support.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done everything from hitting your mark to writing to producing, show running, from Insecure to White Lotus. And now, Reesa Teesa, I'm very excited about this girl. I mean, what drives you to stay in all those lanes? And how did it come to? Like, which one came first? I know acting did, but in terms of professional.
Well, I have to credit Issa. I mean, I didn't grow up in a time where multi-hyphenates were a thing.
Same.
So when I got to the writer's room at Insecure, I was there to write. Kelly didn't exist yet. So I was there writing, and I had a theater degree for acting, and I would put out this little Netflix special, but I was there. I didn't want to be perceived as anything else but writing. And I just remember when Kelly became to be and she was on the paper, she and Prentice were just like, we want you to play her. And I broke down in tears because I was like, oh, she sees all of me and they're letting me be all of me. They're not saying stay in one lane. They're just like, you can do this, let's do this. You can do that, let's do that. And then cut to season 5, I'm directing, I'm producing. And so to be around someone who's a multi-hyphenate, who could just like recognize game.
That's right.
And she was just like, not only that, I'm going to give you opportunity. And so I've tried to model that in how I'm creating and with my production company, Big Hattie, just how do I replicate giving that opportunity to other people and to let them know they don't have to stay in one lane. They can switch lanes and explore their self creatively and their creative voice in whatever lane makes sense.
Shout outs to Issa Rae. I had an amazing experience with her as well.
Yeah.
I've been fuddling with this thought in my mind. Is it that we actually have to be multi-hyphenates to be able to get the stories that we want told? Because I think there's this thing where it's like, oh, we waiting for doors to be opened and we're going to get this opportunity and, at some point somebody's going to get it. But it's like, if we have to be the nuance, then should we just become the nuance?
Yeah. For me, I had this conversation recently because it's exhausting being a multi. It's exhausting creating for yourself and creating the door and walking through the door. And of course, I wish there were, the environment in Hollywood wasn't so that the thing that I'm doing because I love it wasn't something I had to do in order to do it. So there's this mandate that, if we want to be on screen, if we want our stories told, we have to do it ourselves because they're not doing it for us, which I think is true. And while I love doing it, it is that kind of like, it is exhausting that like if I want this thing made or want to see myself, I think that's how my show How to Die Alone came about. It was like, oh, I wrote this thing because I don't see, brown girls with big titties in any other light. So I had to create a light that felt more familiar and that expressed my experience. No one else was going to do that. And so there's this like, it's part gratitude for the opportunity to do it, but it's also, there can be resentment because it's just like, why do I have to? Why can't the industry be such where they want these voices and, understand that Black people were not a monolith. Like we come in all shades, all colors, all stories. And so I'll do it because I love it, but it's also I need to do that to make sure that the door stays open for the stories that are coming.
And I do hope and I do believe, like, creators such as yourself, or we're speaking about people like Issa Rae, Jordan Peele.
Likewise.
Oh my gosh, like those, I do hope and I feel that we're creating foundational work and hopefully IP that can at least stand as an example to what can be done and what should be done, even if it's not us doing it. That's the hope. But I do feel the same as you, like, we do have to do it. If we want to do it, we got to be the change that we want to see.
That's right.
Now, you said Insecure taught you how to write with vulnerability, and White Lotus stretched you as an actor. What did How to Die Alone teach you as a showrunner? Because that is a difficult job, mama.
That's a difficult job.
Woo! Showrunning is no joke.
It's no joke.
Yeah.
But I loved it. It was just like, my ADHD was like, I was built for this moment. I was built for this. Like, just the number of plates that are spinning, like, I was never bored.
Yeah.
And being able to create something, it's the most vulnerable thing I put out into the world. It's an intimate story. It's a funny story. And I knew what it is I wanted to create. And so show running was my vantage point to protect the story and the integrity of the story. And so I was so grateful that, like, every single decision, I was able to make sure that it felt true to the story that I wanted to tell. And it's not for the weak. And I also, that experience taught me, just because I can do it and I can do it at a level that got the show awards and feels good about.
That's right.
Doesn't mean I want to do that for just anybody, because I know what it takes. When you know the emotional toll, you know the sweat equity of what it takes to do something.
It's so funny what you're saying that, because I saw an article, something I had seen online. I don't want to totally botch it, but Martin Lawrence was talking about how doing Thin Line Between Love and Hate almost killed him.
Oof.
Because he acted, he wrote it, and he was starring in it. And he was directing it. I don't know exactly everything, but he was doing a lot. And he was like, that almost killed me.
Ooh.
I'm curious for you. Obviously you kind of said it there, but like, it is hard to direct yourself or to produce yourself.
Yeah.
How did you kind of switch gears or know how to tap in and be able to still focus on your role while keeping the whole infrastructure of the building together?
Well, I took lessons from Insecure, because it was making sure that, like, every script that for every episode was complete before I got to set.
Yeah.
Because I knew that when I was there, I would have trouble downshifting into the writer's mode, then to there. So it was a lot of prep work to make that easier. But it's not for the weak. It certainly isn't. But I also felt like there is something that happens to you when you are in flow and operating from your purpose. My battery was charged and I didn't know how. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was on 2 hours sleep and I was like, how am I energized right now? How am I? And people would comment on set constantly, like, you're still going? And I'm just like, it's in me. Like, something is lit in me and this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Girl, it literally has me touching my heart, because I know the exact feeling of what it means when you're saying being in your flow. It does have you high in the sky.
In the sky.
It's a feeling that you can't explain, because you're just like, I'm in my flow, I'm in my go.
Yes.
Like, and I'm not letting up.
No.
Yeah,
and you
so
just
good.
feel like the wind is at your back. And I think that what that taught me is just like, remember this feeling, because then you'll know what it feels like to be forcing something.
Okay.
You'll know what it's like when you are pushing it and that energy is not coming from the purpose within you. It's coming from something that you want that's more carnal and not coming from the place that feels right and feels aligned. And so it really taught me to, like, listen to that and honor that. And so when I'm picking jobs, reading scripts, if I'm feeling like, oh, this could be a way for me to tap into that flow and that purpose, it's a hell yes, right?
Yeah, that's important to say, because sometimes we are in like I don't mind the concept of hustling, but I think it also undercuts the reality of this flow that you're speaking of. It's like, yes, put yourself out there, yes, be prepared, but also there's a reality where you don't want to reach.
That's right.
You just want to land.
Yeah.
We got to always remember that, because it's like, once you put your time into something that doesn't mean anything, then you're working an uphill, as
That's
they say.
right.
You know?
That's right.
Well, obviously I have to ask, because we talked a little bit about it at the top, but as a multi-hyphenate, we got a lot of stuff going on being a busy bee, but we also got love life. So how are you navigating relationships in this time, girl? Because I'm having a hard time.
Me too.
Girl, don't you just look in the mirror, you're like, I'm very fine.
I'm very fine.
Like, I'm funny and cool. I got a lot of stuff going on.
I got time.
Why am I not the most eligible bachelorette?
Hello.
Let's go.
I'm like, Girl.
It's so crazy.
It's actually crazy. It's actually crazy. Because the thing is that like two things can be true at once, right?
Yeah.
I can be happy, I can be whole, I can be at peace, but I can also want someone to share this with.
I want to be pursued. Run and chase me down the street.
Chase me down. I got a soft life.
Yes.
Give me a pillow.
Yes.
Make it softer.
Yes.
I mean, hello?
And it's like also, how do we meet people today, these days? Like my girlfriend and I, we're like, do I need to go down to the bar and sit down? I was talking to Jill Marie Jones, and Jill was telling me, she was like, girl, you got to go to the bar and chill.
Whoa.
I'm like, if that's what it
Is that what it is?
I'm going to go then. Because I tried the apps.
The apps are rough.
The apps are so...
Because they're also just like, oh, I know you from like everyone. And I'm just like, don't talk to me. But like, that's just, come on.
It's just not giving. And I miss the days, or at least I miss the days watching on TV.
Yes.
Where people were meeting at the club or meeting out at the lounge. Or,
LA's hard for that. LA's hard for like...
Do I need to take my ass to DC?
A DC, New York, something. I know I set my parameters to London at one point. I was like, maybe there's a bloke across the sea that can handle it. Because I got a bloke or something.
I live for bloke.
I was like, find me a bloke because I'm just like, I want to like see the world. I want to have fun. But it's also just like... I think men need to just like come and just be like, step up.
Yes.
I ain't gonna chase you.
Everybody
chase me.
is so tense. I also
Timid.
feel like everybody's tense, timid, don't want to be a joke, don't want to be cringe. I seen this quote from Donald Glover. He said, nobody's gonna be like looking at your deathbed and being like, oh my gosh, he was so cringe.
Yeah, right. It's like cringe to care. No, be cringy.
And have fun. And like even if love only lasts for 2 weeks, let it last for 2 weeks and let's move on.
I'm a Libra. I crush on this mic stand. You know what I mean? Like, I can crush on anything. And it's been a minute since I had a proper crush.
Girl, I know. And you just want the feeling.
I want the feeling. I want to be, like, that wake up, look at your phone and be like, tee-hee-hee-hee. I want a tee-hee. When can I tee-hee?
Yes, and it's so funny because I feel like we're all having the same conversation. We're in a world where everybody's connected. We're all online. We're all somehow intertwined, but yet there's no real connection.
There's no real connection because it requires vulnerability. It requires like the chance of failure.
Yeah.
And people just want a sure thing, or people are too impatient. And I also think too, I think there's this version of ourselves, hair done, nails, all that kind of stuff. And then there's me, no makeup, sweats, my glasses on, and I'm doing Legos.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's so cute that you do Legos. I love that.
I do a little Lego girl.
She's a genius.
And she's trying. But it's just like, I need someone to be attracted to that version of me and like want that and not just want this. Because this is...
And how do you deal with the perception? Because I have a hard time with that as well. Because people see me and they're always thinking, and it's like, I can get into that bag, but it's like also like, my confidence comes from me just saying, this is all I got. It's not because I think I'm perfect or I got it all going on. It's just me being like, I'm working what I got.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how sometimes that perception can leave people to think about what you want or who you are.
Can I tell the truth and shame the devil?
Girl, yes.
Baby, this is Keke Palmer, yeah.
Honey, I don't care what the pumpkin spice industry says. Summer ain't over just yet. And let me tell you, I had the vision of the perfect late summer getaway that would make Earth, Wind, and Fire proud. I can already see it now. And I'm dancing in a spacious Airbnb living room, surrounded by my crew, belting out, "Do you remember?" Because trust me, this is a memory in the making. With all the back-to-school chaos, sometimes you need a breather. Last year, I booked a guest favorite for a quick family escape. We had bedrooms for days, a kitchen big enough for our chopped leftover edition competitions, and the kids could do their schoolwork without feeling like they were in detention. If you're looking for that last taste of summer or a cozy fall retreat, check out Airbnb guest favorites. I mean, seriously, these are the cream of the crop, y'all. Perfect for family trips or friend getaways. You get more space, privacy, and locations that'll make your Instagram followers green with envy. Whether you're chasing the last rays of summer or embracing the pumpkin everything, Airbnb has a spot for you. Baby, I just had the wildest ride with The Prophecy Season 2 on Audible. And Kerry Washington, she's taking supernatural thriller to a whole new level. Dr. Virginia Edwards really thought she could finally breathe easy, but the universe said, not today. Just as she's setting in with her family, the power-hungry billionaire cult leader shows up threatening everything she's protected. On top of that, she's being hit with these intense visions, cryptic, otherworldly, and impossible to ignore. Now, she's racing against time with just 1 month to decode them before the world falls apart. And where do these visions lead her? Straight into the deep south on a relentless run. Giancarlo Esposito is locked in as the villain, and he's hot on her heels and coming with full force. But good thing Virginia's got her trusted Allie Moses, played by Dule Hill, riding shotgun. He and Kerry Washington go way back to Psych, but this time their characters are trying to stop a plan that could change the world forever. The performances will grab you, and the sound design, it'll pull you so deep into Virginia's world you'll be looking over your shoulder at every strange noise. Whether you caught the first season or you're diving in fresh, The Prophecy Season 2 serves up thrills, chills, and some serious what would I do moments. Ready to test your faith and face your fears? Listen to The Prophecy Season 2, now on Audible. Head to audible.com/prophecy2 for your free trial. Trust me, this is one prophecy you want to hear.
You exude an authenticity that is so potent that it requires anyone to be in your presence, that anyone that's in your presence needs to show up with that authenticity. And there's no fake about you. There's no this version, that version. And I think that when people that's that perception, like you said, you could tap into that bag and be like, hey, girl, whatever. You know who you are, and the people that will love you and surround you, they know that too. And I think that's also the few times we've crossed paths, and I'm very spiritual, and so your
too.
vibration, I was like, oh, she's someone that I need in my orbit because you're so 10 toes down, and I just know that whoever you end up with is going to be so worthy.
God!
It's going to be so worthy.
Yes!
Honey.
I feel like, I don't know what scene, what movie this is. I
Yes.
think it's Jill Scott.
Yes!
And Tyler. And how they get married.
I see it for you. Girl.
I need that.
I see it. I'm going to be there with my bloke. At your wedding, honey. Me and my bloke, we going to figure it out.
Oh, girl, I live. Well, congratulations on your second Emmy nomination,
Thank
girl,
you.
for White Lotus. I mean, what is this moment like? I mean, this is your second time around with White Lotus. You keep getting these acknowledgments. I mean, I know you don't probably do it for that, but it has to feel great.
Yeah, no, it feels incredible, especially because it's my peers.
Yeah.
And I think this time around, I wasn't expecting it. And I was so, caught off guard.
Oh.
I was so caught off guard. But I love doing work that fills me up and fills my cup up, but also audiences respond to, and also my peers see. It's all about being seen, right?
It is,
and feeling seen by an industry that works against us in a lot of ways. And so when it actually sees you, it feels amazing.
And I think it also is so great because we fell in love with you on Insecure with one type of character, and then we get to see the development of a totally different style of character.
Yeah.
And not even you're working against it. It's just she has such a different nuance and a temperature and pace.
Yes.
That's what I loved as well about Belinda.
Yeah, it was a joy to play her. And it also, I think, let the industry at large know that, I contain multitudes.
Yes.
I'm an actor. I can do it all. And so I think when you come onto the scene with a character like Kelly from Insecure, it's so much easier for those in, executives and positions of power to be like, oh, she does one thing, check.
Yeah.
And so it was wonderful to have this character be like, no. Recognize that there's a fullness to what I can do. And I'm excited for what's next, too.
Yes. Now, you said in People magazine that you had serious imposter syndrome on season 3 set, working with people that, you've seen growing up from afar. But your co-star, Carrie Coon, called you the OG.
Yeah.
So how did it feel from going to how you felt in the beginning to now?
Incredible. I think I went in, because I wasn't in season 2, and then season 3 was so big from the onset. Yeah, I was just, I wanted to come in and low-key respect my elders. They've been in the game a long time. Their resumes are insane, and I know I have a lot to learn. And so wanting to do right by that, but for her to be like, no, we saw you, you're the OG. And she gave me the best analogy. She was just like, doing a character you've done before is like putting on a wet bathing suit. It's like weird at first, you know it fits, and it'll feel better when you get in the water. And that's how it was, because once I was on set, I was like, oh, I know these people. I know this character. So it gave me more freedom after that.
Now, I have to ask a personal question of where were y'all filming at, and how fun was it to be on them islands?
Woo, Thailand, girl.
Woo!
I was there for 5.5 months.
Oh, my gosh.
It was beautiful.
Oh.
It was hot as but I had never been before.
Yeah,
and so it was beautiful to be there. And like what I learned about Thailand, if you ever get a chance to go, or have you been?
Never.
Oh, girl. So Thailand has never been colonized.
Wow.
Never been colonized.
Bless them folks.
Never been to war. So you walk in, I remember there was the PA on set named Fern, and it was like the first week or something. I was like, the vibes are immaculate. Like, tell me, what's going on? And she's like, yeah, no, we've never been colonized. And it hit me. I'm walking through America, and which is in a constant state of trauma response.
For sure.
And now I'm in a place where that's not there. It was like my shoulders went down. I exhaled. There was no preconceived notions
And
about.
I'm trying to figure out how they pulled that. Because I know y'all got resources.
How did y'all do that?
Ain't nobody come over there and rob y'all.
I know.
That's a blessing.
It's a blessing, and you feel it when you walk around.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I gotta go up over there.
You gotta go up over
Shout
there.
out to Thailand for being amazing. Now we gotta talk about the SNL sketch that Lizzo did with Belinda.
Oh my God.
How was that for you to see? I mean, it had to be. It's so iconic.
It's iconic. I mean, it was out of my mind because when I was writing there, I was there for a year. It was so tricky being there, you know?
I mean, working on SNL, I can only imagine the experience. I was on there just once and I saw the energy. I know you guys were it's like around the clock.
It's around the clock. The stakes are high. It was my first big thing. And so there's a lot of stress. And so to go from that, where I was writing sketches and hoping one of them would get on, to having someone portray me, I was like, look at God. Like, it was crazy.
It's
crazy.
so awesome. I love when that happens. I feel like that's God like giving us a little tingle where he's like, girl,
100%. Like,
continue on.
I got you.
Yes, exactly. We must talk about Reesa Teesa because everybody in Hollywood wanted this storyline, girl. I mean, everybody. It took us all by storm on the internet.
Yes.
And we couldn't wait to figure out what else it could become.
Yeah.
So what was compelling about this story for you, and how did you become a part of it?
It's related to Thailand. I was in Thailand shooting White Lotus, and I kept getting tagged on TikTok in this story. And I didn't know what it was, and it's 53 10-minute episodes. So I didn't have time for that. I was working. So I was just like, I don't know what this is. Then it infiltrated my cousins' group chat. There's like 25 of us, my Philly cousins, and someone had made some key art, like doctored this, and it's the cover. It was like, who the did I marry? And it had my face photoshopped with some other chocolate. And I was just like, I was like, okay, enough is enough. Because they found it on the internet. They're like, oh, Tosh, you doing this? Because they don't know how the industry works. They're just like, I saw this. Is this
It's
real?
true, yeah.
It's true. And I was like, okay. So then I watched every video, and it was the most radical act of vulnerability I had seen.
Mm-hmm.
She was to camera telling her story. And my favorite parts were when she was just like, this is not going to make me look good. And she'd tell the truth, shame the devil. She was like, I'm telling my truth. And so I FaceTimed with her when I was in Thailand and just told her how much I loved her and her story and that I'd love to be able to tell it. And we weren't the biggest company, you know, Big Hattie Productions, my production company. We're boutique, we're small, and like big names threw their hand in the ring. Like, it was competitive. And I remember my director of development, she's like, do we want to attach to one of those companies? I was like, no, let's ride solo and just trust. And
Girl.
And we got the call. She's like, oh, she chose you. I was like, over Shonda? Like, what are you talking about? She showed up and was like, what? And so I was so like blown away. And so I've linked arms with this amazing showrunner named Marty Noxon, and we're developing the story. We're going to be taking out, pitching it in this next week, actually. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm just excited to do right by her story. Because for me, I was like, oh, I don't want to make I don't want trauma drama or pain porn about what hurt you. I want to know the story, the hero's journey of how you went from that to where you are now.
Oh my
And so that's our
gosh.
entry point, to really talk about what happened to her, but really be with her now on the B side of it, to see how it's shaped her and molded her. And she still believes in love. And she's still like taking big swings. She's still bold. She's still, taking chances. And it's beautiful to see. So
I mean,
wanna
this
do
is
that.
a yes across the board that we all want to see. And we
Yes.
live for these moments, just like with Zola, when something happens
Yes.
on the line and people just do
Zola.
right by it. Shout out to Taylor Page, my girl.
Yes.
But, so I'm very excited about this. I mean, going back to her saying yes to you, what do you think it was? Did you feel you guys had a twin connection? Were you guys just clicking right off the bat? Or
Yeah, no, I mean, she was a fan of my work, which is wonderful. But I think in talking to her, she knew I didn't want to take advantage of her. You know, not to say anyone else was, but I was very open with her.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I think what you're saying is like there's a real surface, just kind of like headliney way to approach something like this.
Correct.
As opposed to doing something that's really, I love what they did with the Anna Delvey story.
Yes.
I thought right off the bat, I'm thinking she's nuts. But when I watch the show, I'm like, maybe she could. You know, that's how it should feel.
That's how it should feel.
Because that's from that person's perspective.
Correct. And I wanted to steep the story from her POV. And I just remember being on the Zoom with her, and I didn't ask her, like, tell me about this. I was just like, how's your head? How's your heart? And she kind of sat back. And I was like, she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, yes, you know, Reesa Teesa, yes, but how are you? And we just sort of just like connected 10 toes down. And she's so funny and so smart. And yeah, I'm just excited for the world to see it.
Well, congratulations on that. I'm excited to see it too.
Thank you.
I want to go back to How to Die Alone because it took 8 years to make.
That's right.
Why do you think it got the green light it did once it did, the timing of all that?
I mean, I fought for it. You know, I think for me, there were so many opportunities over the course of that 8 years where I could have walked away, but I knew I wanted this story to see the light of day. And bringing it over with me, I was at HBO with it, and I had gotten a deal at Disney, and I kind of made it a part of that package. I was just like, I want to be able to bring it. And I have such a great relationship with HBO, and they don't usually let you sort of give it back.
No.
And they let me have it, which is a testament. Amy Gravitt over there is one of my dear friends, and she's so wonderful. She's so wonderful and supportive, and I just believed in it. And I think that at a certain point, you have nothing left to lose. You know, you have to bet on yourself. And so in meetings, I talked about it, pitched it, and yeah, we got the green light and being able to tell a story that's undeniable. I linked arms with another amazing showrunner, Vera Santamaria, and we just made the story undeniable, being able to tell the story of an airport worker, you know, which is a demographic that we don't really highlight as being worthy of telling a story.
But we see them all the time.
We see them all the time. And so I knew that people would want to see a story about someone whose job is to get you where you're going, and we want to know where she's going, you know? And so it was beautiful to fight for that and to see it come to life.
Well, I mean, it got a critical acclaim, even though it was canceled after a season.
Yeah.
And we've seen that happen with shows that have become cult classics. I mean, I think about My So-Called Life.
Oh, my God, Angela Chase. Girl. Oh, my God, Jordan Catalano.
Girl, okay.
Oh, my
That's
God.
the Jared Leto I know.
That's the Jared Leto I know.
Okay, so it's like we see this happen with these incredible shows, but it always hurts. So what was that experience like for you to know that whether it continued or not, the show was still valid and it did what it did?
Yeah, I mean, it's disorienting, right? Because you got critical acclaim, you've got a Spirit Award, you got NAACP nominations, and then you get a cancellation. So my brain was trying to reconcile how all of this could be true. But what I understood at the end of the day, that cancellation has nothing to do with the quality of the show.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with the work that I put out. There's a system at play that is doing what they need to do, and I'm doing what I need to do. And I'm going to keep my eyes on my own paper. But it did set me back because it was confusing, right?
Yeah.
It was confusion. And for me, and again, we talked about, I love the question why.
Yes.
They would never give me anything to satiate that. So I had to just let that go and say, you know what? There's circumstances and things going on that I will never understand. But what I do know to be true is I'm proud of what I put out into the world. I am so proud. And people still see it. And they're just like, oh, I feel seen. You know, thank you so much for writing this. You know, I saw your show and now I'm going to book this trip. You know, I've never flown before. I'm going to fly. And so it's going to continue to have those results. And again, I always bring up My So-Called Life because that show was everything.
Yes.
And I still talk about it. It still impacts people. So I'm in good company. I'm proud of what I did. And it's just my first show, one of many.
Yeah, and I think it's so good. The reason why I wanted to highlight that because I really want people to understand that there are other things at play.
Yes.
We're creatives in a corporate environment. At the end of the day, I know people don't see it that way, but it's the same as any other industry.
We're commodities.
We're commodities. And so we have to always remove that personal factor so that we can keep going.
That's right.
Because when we stop going, that's when we lose.
That's when you lose.
When we keep on and we move forward, that's how we can continue to tell tell the stories that are important to us.
It's
I
my
love
favorite
that.
thing to talk about. And sometimes, like, when I do interviews, they shy away from it. I was like, no, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I think it helps people understand that, you know, the no that you get from someone else, it's not a no for you to stop everything. It's just a redirection. So, like, where else can you put your energies? What other stories are inside of you?
Yeah, and this is a business.
That's
You know what I mean? Now, you talked about Reesa Teesa, we talked about Mel, even Belinda, and they're all women that are trying to be seen. For you as an artist, how much of you relate to their experience or how those characters have come to you, have been from your personal experiences?
Baby, this is Keke Palmer, yeah.
When I think about Church's Chicken, I'm taken back to those nights we try to figure out what we were picking up for dinner, and my dad would say, Church's. I'm not gonna lie, we had a little tradition of our own. We'd always snag one of those fresh-baked honey butter biscuits for the car ride home. Sorry, family, quality control purposes. You know, that's what makes Church's so special. It's fresh, hand-breaded chicken seasoned just right. I still do the jalapeno squeeze just like my dad taught me. It's part of the experience now. And those honey butter biscuits I mentioned, baked from scratch daily. And yes, they're worth the potential family drama. What I love is how Church's always comes through with portions that can feed everybody. Even after our little quality control moments, everything's made with real care, and you can taste it. At the end of the day, Church's Chicken is more than just a meal. It's family, it's tradition, it's home. Find your next meal and deal at churches.com.
I mean, I relate to him deeply. I think that growing up as a plus-size young girl, I never felt worthy of being center frame. And so many of the stories that I saw, those characters were always relegated to the sidelines. They were the best friend. They were helping someone else on their journey. And lots of therapy, like 20 plus years, been in the game, understanding my worthiness and my responsibility to stand in my power as someone who is beautiful, plus size, and worthy of being on screen. I know that journey for me was treacherous.
Yeah.
And so for me, I am everything I write, everything I do, everything I perform that speaks to that. It's like a love letter to that unhealed version of myself. It's a love letter to those at home that are still not feeling worthy of being seen. And I think I'll always, you know, be drawn to stories that will subvert those expectations, that will center marginalized voices, because I think for me, those stories are so worthy and those stories are so much more interesting than what has been center frame historically. And so the characters, I do have this sort of, you know, common denominator of wanting to be seen and wanting to break through. And I think that scratches an itch for me, because even still, after all of that, I still have moments where my unworthiness wants to creep up, or, you know, feeling like, you know, even when your team reached out, they're like, oh, we want to do Keke's podcast. I was like, me? That was my first response.
Yes.
Like, and I was just like, yes. I was like, okay, cool. You know, like, let me put on my real Spanx, you know, like show up. Like, oh, you know?
Girl, yes!
So it's just like, okay, and it's a constant exercise, because that's what I always say to people when I like talk to young girls and mentor. I'm just like, none of this is like solved.
No.
None of it.
You just quiet it better.
You quiet it
you
better.
hear it come up and you're like, oh, that's that
That's
again.
that. Yeah, let's put her aside.
I'm fine as hell. Holla at your girl.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. It's like, okay, the thought's happening. I don't have to give it inner energy.
Yes.
And that to me has been my growth and my experience. And so as long as I'll have the privilege of being able to storytell, I'll always favor those stories because of my experience.
And I feel like with Kelly, like the reason why we all love that character so much, there's always an element, I think, with Issa's stuff. I don't know if it's just being millennials or pop culture, but there's an element of satire that really is elevated, intelligent, where it really points things on the nose. And with Kelly, it's like, you think you know Kelly, but each episode and each season, we're like, she's really not who we think she is. How much or how important was that for you and the whole team to continue to give us those layers and show the nuance of this quintessential character that you think you know and who you think she is?
Oh, that was so my goal.
Yeah.
And I was really purposeful in the writer's room not to push Kelly's stories or fight for them, because I was there as a writer for the show, and I know that ultimately it's a love story between Issa and Molly, and Kelly's there to sort of like add that flavor of zest. So anytime we would work on a Kelly storyline, I'd go in measured because I didn't want to I want to see this, but I would always make sure that I would run that through my truth, which is I do not want to see her as a tropey stereotype. I want her to push expectations. She's going to be someone who is sex positive, someone who is smart. She's good with her money. She likes to have a good time. She likes a good drink. She also is at work on time. She can be, she can tame multitudes. And so it was so much fun to play her because she's so not me. People think that's me, and I'm just nerdy as and very quiet, sipping on a little rosé at some place. And she's just she's the life of the party.
She is.
So it's so much fun to bring her to life and let those surprises come out and subvert expectations.
I mean, and she did just that in the last episode. She got pregnant, something she wasn't really trying to do. I mean, she surprises the group. How was finding her ending, and what you guys landed on for Kelly?
I struggled. If I'm being honest, I told Issa, I was like, really? I was pregnant? And because I'm childless by choice in real life, and I love my niece and nephew. I love people who are having children. But I was just I wanted her to be an example for women who were choosing a different path.
Yeah.
And so part of me, I was just I feel she can find a boo for life or whatever, but the non-traditional nature of her, I was I don't know if her being pregnant, I can reconcile that with who I know her to be. And we did a lot of room discussions about it. And I came on board ultimately because I knew that's what Issa wanted for the character. And so in my mind, I'm oh, well, Kelly would be a non-traditional parent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so I found ways to have her still feel like the Kelly I knew in this new environment. You know what I mean? But at first, it took me by surprise. I was just really? I was okay. Because she makes jokes. There's, I forget what season, she makes a joke about going and getting an abortion where she's just oh, if I wanted a kid, I would have kept it, is a line from the show.
Yeah.
And so I was oh, maybe that tip. But yeah, she surprised me. She surprised me.
Okay, I mean, this was something you talked about being neurospicy. When did you realize that neurodivergence was a part of your identity, and how has it shaped your creativity?
Ooh, I had a sense for a long time that I saw the world differently.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the language for it. I didn't know what it was. And this is truly recent. So last year, I was enough is enough. So I found a neuropsychologist, and I've been in therapy for 20 years. So my therapist was just girl, you got ADHD. And I was I didn't have an official test or anything, but I wanted to know what all the spices were. So I went to a neuropsych, did an 8-hour battery of tests, which is what they do when they're doing an official diagnosis. And I went in just I want to learn more about the way my mind sees the world.
Me too.
And girl, I'll give you info. If you want to get this, it is so enlightening.
Because there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. One of the things that I learned outside of the fact that I have raging ADHD, raging, it's wonderful to have that confirmation. She also said, there's this one test you take, right? There's these weird symbols, 3 of them, and then there's a line of 7 weird symbols. And you're timed, and you have to find those 3 symbols in this line. And I go through the test, and the psychologist, the neuropsych, was just are you always this quick? And I was just uh-oh, did I? Because sometimes I can be fast and wrong, and I didn't want to be that. She's no, you were fast and right, but are you always this quick? I was what do you mean? And so the test had 12 pages in the book. She says, I've been doing this for 25 years. I've only graded the first 3 pages, and you got to page 7. So I was just she's and so my brain moves so fast, which makes sense.
So fast,
which was why being a showrunner, I was in flow. Being and she kept saying, she's just I bet for you, small tasks are hard because you need more weight on the bar because your brain likes that challenge. And so it wasn't just the diagnoses, it was an understanding of how my mind works.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That feels so freeing, the not knowing of ourselves.
Yes.
How we think and how we're the way we are. It really is empowering. I need that psycho.
Oh, I'll give it the neuropsych. She's incredible.
Neuropsych, you get to hook me up.
Yes. And the test, I think, it's revelatory because you can also, now that I have the language of how spicy my brain is, when I'm in environments, I'll say now, I move really fast, so if you need me to slow down, let me know.
Yes.
As opposed to just showing up and people not knowing that they have permission to engage with me and call out the fact that I'm being spicy. Call it out. Let's be spicy together.
Yes. I live.
Yes.
Natasha, I've had so much fun with you, but I'm not letting you go without a game.
Oh, no, I ain't leaving.
Because I play a game with all my guests, and this one is called, I call that growth, obviously. Inspired by you
I love
from
that.
Insecure. Now, here's how it works. I'm going to read a bunch of scenarios, some real, some ridiculous, and some a little bit relatable, maybe too relatable. And Natasha and I are going to decide if we call that growth.
Okay.
Gaslighting, either them or ourselves.
Okay.
Or if it's just grown woman behavior.
Okay.
Okay?
Growth, gaslighting, or grown.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the first one. I told him I wasn't ready for a relationship, then got mad when he didn't act like my boyfriend.
Oh, I'm going to call that gaslighting yourself.
Yeah.
That's gaslighting.
I feel like it's totally gaslighting yourself and a little bit of gaslighting them. Because, girl, why are you mad?
Why you mad? You say you didn't want it. When you say what you want.
Okay, I turned down the brand deal because they offered exposure instead of a check.
That's grown.
Yeah.
Get your bag, honey.
Because if you know that right at this point in time, you need the check more than you need the exposure.
That's right.
Then you've made a decision based off of your needs.
That's right. Your needs
it.
made the decision.
Okay, I cut off a friend I've known since college because we simply outgrew each other, and I'm at peace with that.
Growth.
Growth. I got a couple of them.
Woo!
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Listen, I've cut off many a friend, and you have to put those boundaries down and say what you need.
Yeah.
And sometimes they were good for a time.
That's right.
And you have to say thank you. Marie Kondo that friend. Thank you. Let it go.
I love Marie. She ain't got nothing in her house.
She ain't got nothing in her house. She ain't got nothing.
That's crazy, but she probably feel free.
Free.
Okay, I said I was protecting my peace, but really I was just avoiding accountability. I don't like them people.
I don't like them.
That's called gaslighting.
That is called gaslighting.
Because how are you so damn mean? What peace are you protecting?
Yes.
Because peaceful people don't act like that.
That's
boo.
right. There's a difference between boundaries when you're just like, that's enough. And then there's just like, oh, no, I don't want anyone to hold me accountable.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, so you're done.
You're done.
Yeah, I'm too mature for this.
Yes.
You're too mature to be found out.
Yeah, you got your fingers in your ears. Take them out and listen. Yeah, that is.
Now that's a read. You got your fingers in your ears.
You got your fingers in your ears.
Take them out.
Take them out.
Listen. Okay.
Gaslight.
So she told her friend she was over the drama, but still recapped the entire situation in perfect chronological order with timestamps, screenshots, and color-coded receipts.
That's wrong. You keeping your receipts organized.
Exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I have a folder for all y'all.
Listen, Libras are petty as
Girl.
I got slow burn receipts, stuff that I ain't even gonna bring out until I know when the time comes.
When I tell you, I'll keep a conversation from 5 years ago.
Listen.
Play with me if you want to.
Play with me if you want to.
And I got the screenshot saved on the Dropbox.
PowerPoint, you got a screen, pull it down.
Period. Girl, okay. I said I was over him, but I still checked the astrology compatibility for our birth charts again. Now, you know that's gaslighting
That's
yourself.
gaslighting yourself.
He's not the one, no matter how much the stars align.
That's right. I don't care what his rising is.
And that's actually made me distrust astrology on so many occasions because they told me you was my Barack.
I mean.
And you turned out to be...
a rock. Listen. Don't want it.
Okay, last one. Let me see. I want to be a good one. I put a good one. Okay. I never told her I was hurt. I just started matching her energy.
It's not.
Isn't it tricky?
Yeah, because it's not grown to not say what like, it's not grown. But it's educational when you just be matching energy.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So I do feel like it's kind of in that growthy space.
It's that growthy space where it's just like you still have more to grow
Yes.
because you need to say what you mean and mean what you say, but also you can hold up a mirror to some people.
Ugh.
I hold up a mirror sometimes where I'm just
and they're like acting like they seen Medusa.
yes, and I'm like, no, that's you.
That's you, boo.
I'm giving you. You don't like it. That's a you problem.
Natasha, thank you so much for coming to the show. You're absolutely incredible.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm waiting for us. Write me into something, girl, so we can laugh the town out. Girl, we are a match.
I know. I love you so much.
Love you. You're awesome. Y'all, Natasha Rothwell is the moment and the multi-hyphenate movement. From cracking us up as Kelly to making us rethink everything as Belinda, she's proof that funny Black women are layered, brilliant, and running the room. Thank you, Natasha, for showing up with honesty, power, and all the spice. I'm taking notes, and I know y'all are too. Until next time. Baby, this is Keke Palmer.
Baby, this is Keke.